Have you ever thought about what might happen if the Hunger Games and Harry Potter crossed over and merged together? I thought it would be really cool to test a Harry Potter style battle royale with a Hunger Games simulator online. So we've done the draw for the 24 contestants who you will see on screen now. As you can see, there are some really cool dynamics. We've got Lucius Malfoy and Draco Malfoy both in the games together, and also we've got Cornelius Fudge and Rufus Scrimgeour, who both were Minister for Magic, so there might be some rivalry there. So before we start, if you can pause the video, you've seen all the contestants, let me know in the comments who you think's gonna win. Okay, don't change it. We'll come back at the end and see if you were right. Without further ado, let's go to the first day of the games. Okay, so all the tributes are stood on their podiums, the cornucopia in the center with all these weapons, and as the horn sounds, most of them run away. Arthur Weasley goes to the cornucopia, manages to get himself a spear. Romilda Vane grabs a sword. Professor Trelawney gathers up resources, though no weapons. Argus Filch manages to get himself to an explosive, which kills Lucius Malfoy, Katie Bell, and Draco Malfoy. So the Malfoys are out straight away. And very early we see some cooperation with Professor Quirrell, Barty Crouch Jr., and Susan Bones working together to gather supplies. What a weird group of people. So the day progresses as the people run away from the cornucopia and start to find shelter. Barty Crouch Jr. starts building himself a shack in the trees. Meanwhile, Cornelius Fudge and Vincent Crabbe work together to drown James Potter. The poor guy has died twice. A number of them try to hide and gather resources and build shelter. Rufus Scrimgeour chases Sirius Black, who sprains his ankle as he's running away. Madame Rosmerta kills Romilda Vane. Parvati Patil gets in a fist fight with Hagrid and wins, but spares his life. Imagine Parvati Patil beating Hagrid in a fist fight. So at the end of day one, we've got 5 cannons being heard. Lucius Malfoy is dead, as is his son Draco Malfoy. Katie Bell has gone, James Potter was drowned, rest in peace again my friend, and Romilda Vane has also died. So not much happens that night. Arthur Weasley has picked up some wounds and Angelina Johnson tends to them for him, which is very kind, but the rest of them sort of swap stories, sleep, think about home, that sort of thing. So into day 2, we've got a partnership forming between Madame Rosmerta and Susan Bones, who start hunting down other tributes, as does the group of Arthur Weasley, Rufus Scrimgeour, Professor Trelawney, and Cedric Diggory. They've all teamed up as well. I'll tell you who doesn't need a partnership, it's Argus Filch. He's a squib, you'd think he wouldn't stand a chance, and yet he tracks down and kills Hagrid. He was spared yesterday by Parvati after she beat him up, only to die today to Argus Filch. And that is the only casualty today as we move into night 2. So night 2, Cornelius Fudge subtly poisons Rufus Scrimgeour's drink. He drinks it and he dies slowly and painfully. A political assassination from one minister to another. Meanwhile, Peter Pettigrew sneaks up on Professor Trelawney and strangles her with a rope. That is savage. Barty Crouch Jr. tracks down Lee Jordan and hatchets him to death, and the rest of the tributes try to sleep through the night. On to day 3, so a lot of people are hunting and tracking now, most of them unsuccessfully, except Cornelius Fudge, right, is turning into a savage. So he finds Sirius, forces Sirius Black to kill Arthur Weasley or Argus Filch. He forces him to make that choice. And Sirius chooses to kill Filch, probably to avenge Hagrid from the day before. Absolute savagery from the Minister. So at the end of day 3 then, there are 5 cannon shots heard. Parvati has been killed, Rufus Scrimgeour has been killed, Professor Trelawney has been killed, Lee Jordan has been killed, and Argus Filch has been killed as well. So the night goes mostly uneventfully, except for, you've guessed it, Cornelius Fudge, right? Sprout, Fudge, and Peter Pettigrew all get into a fight, and somehow Cornelius Fudge kills both of them. Can anything stop this man on his quest for survival? Meanwhile, Vincent Crabbe lays there and can't sleep because he thinks about winning, and I am telling you, I don't think Vincent Crabbe is taking out Fudge in the slightest. On to day 4 then, Sirius Black gets caught on some thorns and cuts himself quite badly. Professor Quirrell manages to steal from Cornelius Fudge, but doesn't kill him. Crabbe, buoyed by this idea of winning from last night, builds himself a shed. Meanwhile, Barty Crouch Jr. and Arthur Weasley decide to threaten a double suicide against the Game Makers, but they're having none of it, so they end up dying. The Game Makers then decide to shake things up a little bit. They fill the arena with these monkey mutts. Professor Quirrell uses Petunia Dursley is a human shield to protect him from the monkey mutts. And Crabbe, apparently with this new wave of energy, does the exact same thing with Sirius Black and uses him as a human shield. Meanwhile, Cedric has once again become Dedrick as he is pummeled to death by the monkeys. Angelina Johnson pushes Madame Rosmerta in front of the monkeys to save herself. And Cornelius Fudge and Susan Bones also manage to survive. So we've got 8 cannon shots here. 8 people have died since the previous night. That's Professor Sprout, Peter Pettigrew, Barty Crouch Jr., Arthur Weasley, Petunia Dursley, Cedric, Sirius Black, and Madame Rosmerta. We are down to our final 5. Susan Bones is still alive, Professor Quirrell is still alive, Angelina Johnson is still alive, Vincent Crabbe still alive, and Cornelius Fudge, who I think has to be the out-and-out favourite, also still alive. Okay, on to night 4. Vincent Crabbe is woken up by nightmares, presumably the opposite of him thinking he's going to win. He has nightmares of losing, which is fair enough in the Hunger Games. Professor Quirrell sets Cornelius Fudge on fire with a Molotov. It doesn't say whether he dies or not, but I think he does. And if you remember before, Quirrell managed to steal from Fudge as well, so I don't know if Fudge trusted him or something, but it's backfired. Meanwhile, Susan Bones is caught off guard by Angelina Johnson, who kills her. So Angelina has killed Susan Bones. Savage. It looks like there's only 3 left then. I'm pretty sure Cornelius Fudge did die. So we've got the feast, which happens in every Hunger Games, right? They fill the cornucopia with food, drink, medicine, and messages from the tributes' families. Crabbe goes in and steals the message from Quirrell's family. I don't know what family he's got, but Crabbe has stolen it, which is going to hit hard. Angelina Johnson, meanwhile, decides not to go to the feast. So it's the end of the 5th day then. 2 cannon shots are heard, confirmation that Cornelius Fudge was killed, and Susan Bones as well. You gotta think with only 3 left now, this is gonna be the last day. Let's see what happens. So Angelina Johnson decapitates Professor Quirrell with a sword. Angelina Johnson has got ruthless in the final part of this. Meanwhile, Crabbe can't hack it, and he tries to escape from the arena, but he dies trying. So there we have it, Angelina Johnson is the winner. 3 kills to her name. Absolutely pulled it out of the bag at the end there to get the win. Were you right in your predictions? Let me know down below whether you were correct. I don't think many of you would have guessed Angelina Johnson would have won. Personally, I was expecting, particularly halfway through, Cornelius Fudge to win with 4 kills. Argus Filch also had 4 kills to his name. So savage from those 2, and I wouldn't have expected that from them at the beginning either. If you enjoyed this concept, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do more of these. They were really fun to do, so I'm happy to do more of them. If you're a big Harry Potter fan, I make Harry Potter content on Instagram and TikTok, so you can be sure to follow me over there if you'd like to. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you can turn the bell on for notifications as well. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.